Rise. Hello. Welcome to this video which will explain in detail how the combat phases work in the trading card game Rise. I strongly recommend that you watch the other two videos that explain how to play and what the different types of cards are. Here we are in the middle of a duel game of Rise. On our right is the player who plays the pre-built deck Undead Army. On our left is his opponent playing the pre-built deck Cat's Kitchen. All the information about these decks are available on the project wiki page. To summarize the game, we are turn 4, and it is the left player's turn to play. His main summoner is Murthill, he is level 4, his maximum, and has 11 healing points. Hermetic Champion is still at his initial level and has 8 healing points. His stock contains 3 coins, and here are the cards that make up his battlefield. A Cutest Kitty. Felix the Destructor. A Unicity and a Polymorph which took the shape of a Unicity. As two Unicity are joined together, their symbiosis works, allowing the other incantation to be indestructible and allowing them to have attack points and to be able to attack. Let's not forget the infinite rank Pomcat. There is also a Mirror Door in Oxo, a tribal incantation that can boost and generates cats. Let's look at his hand. It is composed of a Burger Time, a Treasure, a Donut and a Hecatomb. So an incantation and 3 imminent cards. We are in the summoning phase. A Murthill capacity is spent to summon a treasure. This player gains 3 coins and 3 charges of ether. This card is used and goes to the graveyard. Now he spends 2 more capacity to make Murthill level 3 and 4 skills. A bonus charge +1/+1 is placed on the summoner. All his cats gain this bonus. And thanks to the level 4, during this turn, all the effects of the food cards are doubled. Before fighting, he must try to maximize his damage, so he uses an action on this incantation. He pays a coin and tosses a dice to make even or odd. Rolling even will result in a success. Success. During this turn all his cats will have an additional +1 bonus. Still in pre-combat. Most cats have an ability called Diversion. To do this you must target an opposing creature. If you succeed in the free cost action, this creature cannot defend this turn. Success. To indicate it can't defend, it will be tapped. Now let's move on to the combat phase. To symbolize that a creature is a fighter, simply tilt it. The Cutest Kitty attacks. Felix is a powerful cat but he has the ability to reach, so he will stay in defense. The 2 Unicity attack because in front of them there is only one other creature on the celestial plane, so there is a way to touch an opponent's summoner. And the Pomcat of infinite rank will also attack. For recall the cat have all +2/+2, the food cards have their effects doubled and the creature's Unicity have 3 in attack because this player has 3 card of type incantation in play. Let's move on to the next player to see how he defends, but first let's take a closer look at where he stands. His only vacant summoner is Atlas. He's level 2 and has 6 healing points. Lazarus is level 3 but he is tilted and therefore not able to use his capacities. On the battlefield there are 2 incantations, the Reaper, which allows the management of creatures, and a Grim Dance which gives +1 to all of his creatures. Just above, a Door of the Catacombs, which allows to manage its graveyard. And finally in creature, there is the Necromancer Skeleton, the Demonic Skull, which will not be able to defend, and 2 skeletons of infinite rank. He has 1 creature and 2 imminent cards in hand. Before announcing the defenders, the player on the right decides to use the action on the Reaper. He targets the Cutest Kitty, because this creature can only be defended by a door, and he wants to keep the catacombs. He pays the cost of the action and tosses the dice. Success. The cat dies and causes an effect. Lazarus and Atlas each lose 2 healing points. Death by Reaper also causes an effect. The Cutest Kitty is replaced by a skeleton of infinite rank. Let's move on to defense. The attacked player chooses his defenders. First, it chooses this infinite rank skeleton to defend the attacking infinite rank cat. The skeleton dies. At the moment of its death it gives a charge of ether. But when most skeletons die, it is possible to bring them back into play with a bonus thanks to the reanimation ability. It is a failure, it disappears in the ether. Then he chooses the skeleton Necromancer to defend one of the Unicity creatures. They are both on the celestial plane. Once this defender is chosen, he uses the level 1 skill of Atlas to protect him from any damage. The Necromancer stays alive. As its attack point is superior to the Unicity's defense point, Unicity is destroyed and goes to the graveyard. As the second Unicity cannot be defended, the other player has an answer. He decides to spend his last capacity point to invoke an imminent card. He targets the Unicity and summons a donut. The donut's entry effect is to give a +3/+3 bonus to the targeted creature. But this +3/+3 is doubled by the skill cast earlier by Murthill which doubles the effects of the food type cards. Unicity gains +6/+6 for the duration of the turn. In addition, he decides to take the action on the donut, which is a direct purchase and allows him to get the card back into his hand. The Undead Army player has no response and must now take damage. In Rise, unless an effect, action, or ability changes this rule, the player taking damage chooses which summoner gets hit, knowing that you can't subdivide damage from one source. In this case, he decides to take it all on Lazarus, because his second skill allows him to recover life points. It is now the end of the combat phase. The left player still has a vacant summoner. The Unicity has no more symbiosis and loses most of its effects. Temporary charges are destroyed. Let's continue one more turn. It is now the Undead Army player's turn. He starts with his Awakening phase, where all the cards are put back in place, and the summoners regain their capacities. Then he decides during the Restoration phase to gain 2 coins and therefore to draw only 1 card. The card drawn is a Morpher creature. Then the charges are updated. It's now the Summoning phase. An Atlas capacity is used to summon a Proteoform. The goal is to allow a double use of the Reaper action, as the Proteoform can reroll an action under your control. The action on the Reaper is cast. It targets Felix the Destructor. Success. Felix the Destructor now goes to the graveyard and is replaced by a skeleton. Now the special ability of the Proteoform is used to relaunch the Reaper again. As a reminder, you can normally only do this once per turn. The targeted opposing creature is the Unicity creature. Success again. The polymorph is destroyed and goes to the graveyard, and is replaced by a skeleton of infinite rank. Now Atlas' second capacity is used to summon the Undead Morpher. He takes the form of the Demonic Skull. There are now 4 skeletons, so they gain +4/+4. The player on the left announces a response. He uses a capacity of the Hermetic Champion to play Hecatone. This imminent card destroys all creatures but can leave you with creatures if luck is on your side. Of course, 2 coins in his stock allows him to cast the action. Failure. All creatures in play are destroyed. These 3 skeletons give a charge of ether. Some dice will allow to know which ones come back in play with a bonus thanks to the reanimation ability. 3 consecutive successes, all skeletons come back and gain +1/+1. On the other battlefield, the creatures also go to the graveyard. Even the infinite rank skeleton does not want to come back. Now, it's all for the best. The player decides to play his door, the Catacombs. On this card, the second action allows to bring back all your dead creatures to life, but in return you have to sacrifice a summoner. You have to pay first. That's done. He tosses the dice. Even. Success. Atlas is sacrificed and now make way for the real army of the dead, once arrived on the battlefield. The bonus charges are placed, and all creatures attack the opponent. The total damage allow no doubt. The opposing summoners can't hold. Myrthill and the Hermetic Champion do not win this time. Game. See you soon for new videos. Don't forget to follow us on social networks.